we are going back too far. We were too young to remember all these small things that we're talking about because we were very young. I can only talk to you about the things when the war started and tell you about things, what happened, how it happened, from things that I can recollect.
Alright. What is your first memory from when things started to change?
Well, the first memory was when the Russians withdrew. They were withdrawing, the Germans were pushing them out, and when the problem started for our families, where as in a short period of time they took away our dearest ones, and they shot them without any reason, without any recourse, because they felt that they didn't need them for any purpose. We saw a few things that we didn't like to see, and a few things that happened. We lived in a very small place, but what we saw when they started arresting people, that my brother Itchke was being chased by a policeman who was a friend from his school, and he was chasing him, and we didn't hear what he said to him, but first thing we saw that he took away the gun from him.
Actually saw it happening? You saw
Yes,
it taking away the gun?
yes, in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
And he hit him and he ran away.
Where were you standing?
We were standing near our house, which was not a big distance, and it was a clear area. We were in a clear view. It was our backyard.
Mm.
And he ran away, and we didn't know, I didn't know where he ran away, where he was, or what he was doing. We, from our family, didn't know anything about the family, except that I was taken as their own by the Itchke family. And after a short period of time, they took us all to Miadl, and they put us in the first mini concentration camp. We were there for a short period of time, and we were small kids. There were some adults in the family, and we were there. We didn't know what they were going to do with us. And we were there only the people that were not killed the previous week or so. All this destruction happened on the Jewish holiday. I don't recall exactly if it was Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur.
Yom Kippur.
The people that we met in the concentration camp were from all over, from Miadl, from a few other places. And what happened is as follows, not that I know in detail, but there was a raid on the camp, presumably by partisans, but then we found out they were Russian deserters who were left up behind by the Russian army. They came to the concentration camp not to free the people. They came there because they heard there was a dentist who had a few kilos of gold. They wanted to retrieve the gold in order to have some money to buy arms and to have food. They were only a few of them. They created a distraction. They put fires around the camp, and they started shooting in the air. And the Germans went into hiding, and they told us, these few deserters, to follow them. Later on, we found out that they, by mistake, burned down the house where the gold was, and they came for nothing. They got nothing. All they got was a group of people who were able to follow these deserters. They brought us in the woods, and they put us all together, and they said, listen, we will take you across the border. We will take you to Russia, but everything costs money. We need all your belongings. We want your rings, we want your watches, we want any valuable things that you have. And we will take you for these things that you'll help us to buy guns, to defend ourselves, and to take you there. We need the money.
How did they treat you? Why do you think they took you from the place? Did they care for you?
They didn't care for us. They didn't care for us, and as a result, to prove that they didn't care for us, we woke up in the morning, they were gone, they took everything that they could, and we were there, broken families, without anything, without a place to go. We were...
Where was that? That's after they took your belongings.
After they took our belongings, the following morning we woke up and they were gone.
That was out of Miadel, just in the woods? Or
that was not far from Miadel. They took us to a special place where we were not touched by the Germans. From there we found out that there are some people already living in the woods, and they were from Miadel or from other different parts. And they were there for a while already, and we wanted to go there. So my uncle, Mayor's father, Swirsky, knew the area, and he asked some people, and we walked to the place where the other people were hiding. We came there. The people have been living there for a while.
Who is we? Who were you with?
And Hane. Zundel was carried, he was a small baby. Ishuye, Mina, and Mayor's father, and my auntie Chava. There were other people, but I'm talking about our family only. We came to the woods. The people were living outdoors under the sky. They have very little food, and they told us that they're getting the food by going out at night to beg for food. We were there for a while. We were afraid to go out to beg for food. First of all, we were too scared, and we were young kids. So I really don't remember who went out from the beginning, but eventually we had to go, because in order to get the food, somebody had to carry it, to bring it back to where we lived. And this is how we started our episode of living under the skies. The major problem was with living there is, first of all, by living outdoors, there was no any facilities to keep warm. And after 1 month, we all had to lose our shoes because we lit a fire, and the fire dried up our shoes and they became too small. So we had to get rid of our precious shoes. We had no replacement, and we got from the people where we went to beg shoes that were made out of rags. They were called lapches. And those were the shoes that we wore right through the episode.
How old were you?
We were, I think, if I remember correctly, put my numbers together, 10 years old, 9 years old.
But do you remember the routine? Do you remember little things from the wood, the things you did during the day?
Well, basically, in the woods from the beginning we did nothing. We were preparing for the winter to see how we were going to survive in the cold weather. So we started building a roof over our heads. Instead of just having a fire, we had to get protection so it wouldn't snow on us. So we started building a roof over our heads, and the roof was covered with the green trees that they used for Christmas trees. And we started making our life there. We didn't know what else to do or how to do it, and we were going out for food to beg at night. Some of them gave us food. Some sent dogs out after us to chase us away, and we were barely surviving.
Were you there with other families?
There were other families there.
In the same, were in the pit?
In the same place where we were. Different areas.
What is the place? A hole in the ground? Like
In the hole in the ground, it was open. It was just a hole. It was sitting about 2 feet. There was a big area that was opened up. We shoveled it out. We were sitting there sleeping on the floor in front of fires. We didn't know who was alive, where they were, how they were. We had no communications with anybody.
Did you think about them? Did you speak about them? About the people that you don't know?
Of course we spoke about them, but talking didn't give us the answers that we wanted to know. We didn't know anything. We didn't know who was in a ghetto. We didn't know who else escaped. Some of them that came with us stayed with us, and some left. They went to other places. But we survived by sheer luck and nature. We adapted to the nature by necessity. We did not have any know-how, how to protect ourselves, how to care for ourselves. We didn't know what to do, but we learned day by day how to survive.